what happened tonight? The Lightning were coming back to Tampa, but they were either going to be watching the rest of the playoffs on their couch or playing another game at Amalie. And we're playing another game at Amalie. So for all the Canadians that come across this video that don't care about American football, tonight was the NFL draft. So I was at Raymond James Stadium. They were throwing a draft party, so I was there and watching the game on my phone. I wish I was like a chameleon or an iguana, whichever the lizard is that can like make their eyes look different directions, so I can, watch the draft and watch the game at the same time, but I'm not. So I was looking up and down, trying to pay as much attention to both as I can, but because of that, the recap's not going to be as detailed. But the series is still alive. If we lost, then, that would suck. But, we won, we got emotion, let's go. I was really happy with how the Bolts came out in this game. Through those first, 5-ish minutes, even though they weren't, overpowering the Leafs, you kind of felt like a confidence going into Scotiabank tonight that you didn't, even at Amalie, you kind of didn't really feel that. But with that being said, after those 5 minutes, Riley scores from Nyes and Tavares, and that kind of really shot one through my heart. Yeah, I was just like, man, we can't go out like this. Yeah, it didn't last too long. Literally the next shift, 6 minutes in, Sorelli from Hagel and Perbix on a little rebound in front of the net, and that makes it 1-1 early on. Both teams score a goal, so where it goes from here, I had no idea. But that goal in response was huge for the Lightning because Toronto was rocking. Scotiabank was going crazy, and they needed that so that the Leafs could not build on that momentum from the first goal. Championship mentality, being able to bounce back that quick and tie this game up. But it was still just 1-1, and more work needed to be done or your season will be over. So later in the first, Colton has a interference call and Leafs go on the power play. Vasy makes some good saves on the kill, and Lightning are able to kill it off, and then the Lightning go on the power play. They, just like the Leafs, had some opportunities, but no result. So going into the second period, score still 1-1. But the Lightning are the first team to put it through the back of the net, break that tie. It's Acimont from Bogo and Cole. He's able to go 5-hole, and it was one Samsonov probably should have saved. Not even probably, he should have saved that. That was from a pretty tight, sharp angle, and I'm not really sure what he was even doing. I don't know if he was expecting a pass from that angle or what it was, but left it open down low. Acimont went down low, and Bolts are up 2-1. Later on, Kerfoot has a delay of game call, and the Lightning are able to go on the power play, but you wouldn't have even known that they were on the power play because the Leafs really shut that one down, and that really gave them and the crowd a bunch of momentum towards the end-ish, the second half of that period. Heading towards literally the end of the period, Maroon has a roughing call. Giordano going into the boards, and Leafs are going to start with a power play to start the third, which in a one-goal game, not ideal. But at this point in the game, you could see this was a Vasilevsky bounce-back game. This was not bad. There's Vasilevsky, which, if you can see my hand, right here. And then there's the big cat. Tonight we got the big cat, and we needed that big time. So the Leafs aren't able to score on that power play, and going into this third period there, the Lightning are looking a lot better on the forecheck. They're giving the Leafs, less space than they have been in the last couple of games here, and as a fan watching, it's a little more less stressful, a little more relieving. Still, that would have been more nice a couple games ago. Now we're facing elimination, so it doesn't really matter. We've seen 4-1 comebacks from the Leafs with 10 minutes left, so even with that, still very nervous with how this game's going to turn out. But Nick Paul helps out a little bit. Paul from Colton and Acimont, about 12 minutes in, and it's now 3-1 Lightning. And like I was pretty much saying, usually at this point, I would feel relief with the Lightning having a 2-goal lead, Vasilevsky in net. Usually they're able to lock that down. And yeah, I just did not have that feeling. I really did not. I felt a Leafs push coming, and kind of got one. With 4:21 left, Lightning ice the puck, and the Leafs pull Samsonov. So here's, here we go. Just, all right. Hagel then hits the post on the empty net, and again, it's just like, yes, 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 no. And then not too long after, Matthews scores a goal from Tavares and Marner, just throwing it at the net, see what happens, and oftentimes good things do happen. So it's now 3-2, and I'm just telling myself, here we go again. Seen it 2 games in a row now. That's almost seems inevitable at this point. And I forgot to mention, like, maybe 7-ish minutes left in the game, where I was at, Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, there was a lightning strike not too far from the stadium that caused everything to get shut down. And we all had to go indoors, take shelter, take cover. Huge storm coming, and it was a huge storm. But now since we're all under shelter, we're not like all spread out. Everyone's like super grouped up, really close together. And this is where like a mini watch party kind of like breaks out. So everyone is watching the game on their phone, and everyone is like just in a group watching here on someone's phone, a group watching here on someone's phone, a group watching here, just all throughout the entire stadium. So I was watching on my phone. I had, a group of like 5 or 6 people just looking over my shoulder. We're all watching the game, reacting to everything. So it was interesting. It was like an experience I've never had before, just everyone all grouped together in kind of a tight space, just all watching the game on their phone, because I'm at a draft party. They have the draft on the TVs, but everyone was locked into that Lightning game. But following that goal, Vasy makes a couple of huge saves. Sergachev, nice block, and to end the game pretty much with like 5-ish seconds left, Killorn from Hedman and Cirelli, Lightning go up 4-2 on that empty net goal, and that would be the final score. And when that final whistle goes, "Let's go Bolts" chants break out at the Buccaneers Stadium, and it was fun. It was a good time. Not really what you expect going to a Buccaneers draft party, but just the situation, the lightning bolt striking outside the stadium right in Tampa, and it was a good moment. That's really all I have to say. The Bolts are able to go into Toronto. I'm making sure to say Toronto now. A lot of people keep telling me it's Toronto, not Toronto. Anyways, getting sidetracked. I've watched too many American broadcasts where they say Toronto. But yeah, Bolts take game 5. Big Vasilevsky game, much needed. Hopefully this, builds his confidence back up, and we can see the big cat for game 6 at Amalie and game 7 back in Toronto. But while this is all fine and dandy, the Leafs are still up 3-2. The Lightning are still facing elimination. So this next game is going to be Saturday at Amalie, like I said. And can the Leafs beat the Lightning 3 times at Amalie? I would hope not. It almost seems like this first round of the playoffs, though, home ice honestly doesn't even matter that much. But you would hope that the Bulls will be able to protect home ice facing elimination. The Lightning have been here before. They've played so many playoff games these last few years, and they know how to handle this situation. So based on, what I've heard from Leafs fans, they felt like this game, game 5, up 3-1 was a do or die scenario for them, basically. Obviously not literally, but mindset wise, they've seen things, crumble a little bit. I'm kind of stuck because, in my opinion, the Bolts outplayed Toronto both games at Amalie, but that third period collapse allowed the Maple Leafs to take both of those games at home. And that is no slight at all to the Leafs. Trust me, when a team gets outplayed and they're still able to find a way to win, that is the sign of a really good team, no matter what sport it is. So like I said, I'm just kind of stuck. I'm like, obviously, I know, I've seen it multiple times this series, the Lightning can outplay the Leafs for a significant period of time. But the third period comes and they kind of just fall apart. I don't know if it's getting tired or they're just so many games, like I said, these last few years, if it's catching up with them. Not sure what it is, but I'm not really leaning either way this series. I can see the Leafs shutting this one out, and I also can see the Lightning finding that championship mentality within and being able to somehow find the light at the end of the tunnel and get out of this series. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down below what you guys thought of tonight's game, and you know, are the Leafs going to be able to close this one out, or are the Lightning going to force a Game 7 in Toronto? Please like, subscribe. Thank you again. Go Bolts.